Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. My name is Coco and today we are starting a new reading vlog. This one is going to be a little bit different because as you may have seen in my community post, I had a very close friend pass away very suddenly and I really haven't been feeling able to vlog or even really read much. The last book that I finished was an audiobook, which I was very happy to finish, but my escape is reading and I haven't been able to do that very much. All the books that I have on my physical TBR, most of them are kind of heavier books that deal with a lot of heavier topics. And I really just want to read some fun, silly, goofy stuff. So the next couple vlogs are probably going to be just self-indulgent. This one I am thinking of doing some silly, goofy romances. So I originally had this vlog planned and then everything happened. I ended up finishing the one book, Love at First Sighting, that was supposed to be part of this vlog, which was cute. I liked it, but obviously I finished it, so that's not going to be part of this lineup. I do have a couple books. I have Thrown in the Dark, which is one that I think used to be exclusively on Amazon, which I'm glad it's not. I found this at Barnes & Noble. But it's a really like quintessential grumpy sunshine fantasy romance. So it's a thief and like the son of a demon that are gonna be falling in love. I think it's supposed to be like pretty self-aware and funny. So I'm really excited about this one. Also, I don't usually love sprayed or stenciled edges, but I think it kind of works for this. I'm not starting with this one, I don't think, but I wanted to bring it to show you because I do like the physical copy of it. I think it's really cute. I also have a book that people have already probably read and finished, and that's Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which is the kind of interconnected standalone to Bride, which I really enjoyed. Omegaverse stuff isn't really for me, but I really liked the fun story in Bride, which is like a vampire and a werewolf that had to marry each other to make sure that they could continue fulfilling the treaty that they had with each other. And this one is about the main character in the first book, the vampire, her best friend, and I think she's half werewolf. It's a werewolf and a half werewolf that fall in love in this one. And I think it'll be fun and silly. I've heard people said that they like this more than Bride. I've heard people say that they're not as much of a fan of it. So there's also Dial A for Aunties, which is very different because it's like a mystery and a romance together. So the main character, Madeline, okay. She accidentally kills her blind date and her meddlesome mother calls her aunties for help to figure out what happened. And I think there's some sort of second chance romance possibility. It sounds ridiculous and it sounds perfect and like something that I just don't have to take too seriously. That one I actually have from my library on my Kobo. So I might go in between the physical books and that library book. I wanted to like get back into vlogging and get back into reading because my friend was really supportive of my channel. He would watch and comment on my stuff and, you know, told me that I helped him get back into reading. And I want to honor his legacy by continuing to do that. He would not have wanted me to stop. And he would not have wanted me to not do one of the things that I love. And I think that even though I'm grieving and still going to be grieving for probably a really long time, I think he would be proud if I continue doing YouTube because it's something that I really enjoy. He's not here to be able to do the things that he enjoys, so I'm going to do the things I enjoy in his honor. But thank you so much for listening to me yap. I'm going to go ahead and go to class. We are almost done with the semester. I'm basically in my final projects phase of all my classes because I don't have any finals, thank all the gods in the world, but I do have a bunch of final projects. 2 of them are group projects, and we're going to be working on those today. So I'm not sure how much footage I'm going to get at school, but I'm going to be doing some reading in between classes, and I'll keep you updated. I think I'm going to start with Mate, because I already kind of started it. I'm like 2 chapters in, so we're going to continue that and see where the day takes us. school day is technically over with, even though I have a ton of work I'm going to do at home. I wanted to update you. First of all, I'm walking back from class and I reach into my bag and I realize my parking pass was not hanging on my car. So I didn't know when I got back to my car if I was going to have a ticket, because the parking services at my school are just like very ticket happy. I have my car registered with them, but you never know what's going to happen with them. Luckily, I did not get a ticket, and I am about 85 pages through Mate by Ellie Hazelwood. This is about Serena and Cohen. Serena is a half werewolf, half human. And she is very much wanted because in this world, there are humans, there are werewolves, there are vampires, and they've kind of kept to themselves except for like the werewolf vampire treaty that happened in Bride and happened for like hundreds of years before that, because they didn't think that they could intermingle. But they found out that she is a werewolf hybrid and she didn't even know until she was an adult. And then to make things harder, Cohen, the male love interest in this, she is his mate, but she does not like him like that. And I don't know what to think of this man, but he acts like it's just like a sexual urge and not like an actual attraction or liking her for who she is. So they have this weird relationship. It's kind of like, I'm guessing, going to be like an enemies to lovers situation. However, something about this man bothers me. First of all, the love interest in Bride is named Lowe, and this man is named Cohen. Why do they sound like two guys who would bully me in high school? Like, they sound like the popular kids that would bully me when I was in high school, and I don't like it. The way that he talks to Serena and says like these weird misogynistic comments bother me, and it's not like you can't like tongue-in-cheek say something like that. Like, I think it's funny sometimes if you really, really know the person and know that they would absolutely not believe that stuff in real life. I don't know this man enough for him to be saying like to get back to the kitchen or to make him a sandwich. It feels very Reddit in 2008 humor, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, especially because I don't know this man from anyone, and I don't know if he's being earnestly sexist or if he's just like trying to be funny or get on Serena's nerves. I really hope that as we get further into the book that's going to get cleared up, because right now I'm not loving him as a love interest for Serena. I kind of don't really care about Serena either. Maybe I should have reread Bride. I think she was in it. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to spoil anything, but like I'm not believing the attraction between these two, even though they both say like there's none. It's really readable. It's Ellie Hazelwood, and this is my second book from her, and they're both going to be omegaverse, but whatever. I do want to read some of her other stuff, but we started with Bride, and now I'm reading Mate. So I'm going to get into something comfortable. This isn't too bad, but like I want to be in a hoodie and some sweatpants right now, and I'm going to get some work done and some reading done. I apologize for the bad lighting. It is November in the Midwest, and it is 6 o'clock right now, so it's gonna be dark for hours. But I am over halfway through Mate, and I am happy to say that it has picked up a bit. Hello. It has picked up quite a bit. Going into this book, I wasn't sure how I felt about the main characters. I was really prepared to come on my next update and let you know that I was not really enjoying the book at all. It's definitely picked up. I definitely do like the dynamic between the two main characters, especially after some stuff was revealed about Cohen and just about the history of his pack and everything in general. So that really kind of redeemed it a little bit for me. We'll see how it continues as the book continues. I might finish this tonight. I'm not 100% sure. I've just been having I have not done any schoolwork except what I did at school today, and I think I'm just gonna give myself tonight. Ow, okay, your claws hurt. Minerva. Hi. So I think I'm just gonna give myself tonight to continue doing the things I enjoy and continue reading, because this is the first book in like 3 weeks so that I felt able to actually pay attention to and get into. And I'm just really excited that I'm able to do one of the things that I love again. So I'm going to continue reading. I'll keep you updated. We'll see if I give you another update. Hopefully I will before I finish this book, but I have read over half of it just today. So we'll see how it goes. It is a little over 400 pages long, and I am around 230-ish pages now. So storygraph says 52%. So we'll see. I feel like I have to forgive Cohen for having a man bun, but other than that, I think I'm liking him a little bit more as a love interest than I was earlier. Once again, I have an update in the car in the parking lot at school. I did finish Mate yesterday, and I have thoughts about it. So I went into this book really not sure that Ellie Hazel would be able to capture the magic of Bride again. And it's a very different book from Bride. The fact that it's a werewolf and a half werewolf, and a lot of things that I can't really say because they'll spoil, are much different than Bride. It really leans into the omegaverse, I think, more than Bride does. But if that doesn't bother you, I'd say definitely go for it. I ended up liking it more than I thought I would. I don't love numbers as far as like my rating goes because it's so subjective. Who's gonna like what? There's books that I've loved that people have an average, like the average rating is so low, and then there's books that I hate that have like a 4.5 on Storygraph. So I gave it a 4 on Storygraph, or I'm giving it a 4 on Storygraph. Like I said, it is subjective. Overall, I think it was fun. It was good. It got my mind off of things, and I would read more Ellie Hazelwood. I kind of want to read her more like normal, typical stuff too. Although I've heard like there's a lot of like tiny little girl, giant man tropes, and that does happen in Bride and Mate a little bit, but I don't think it's probably quite as much as the other ones. But also I am in STEM as well. I'm going for UX design, which is part of like coding and technology. So I technically am in STEM. I love that she has STEM in pretty much every one of her books, including in Bride and Mate. So I'd say go for it if you're interested. If you liked Bride, you'll probably like Mate. It is definitely different. Cohen does redeem himself a bit. I do think it was a bit of a mistake for the author to make him make those misogynistic jokes at the beginning, especially because like we didn't really know him that well. And it's weird because it seems like they peter off pretty quickly. So I don't know why they needed to be a thing in the first place. He could have been like grumpy and callous without those types of jokes. Like I'm not sure what the point of that was, but it is what it is. I am going to be reading the next book on my Kobo. I actually started and I just got through the prologue. Dial A for Aunties, or Aunties, however you want to say it. This is by Jessie Q. Sutanto, who is the author of the Vera Wong books, which I love Vera Wong, and I'm really hoping that I like this too. Vera Wong doesn't take itself too seriously. The Vera Wong books are pretty much like mostly mystery. There's some side plots of like some of the characters having some sort of romance. However, I think this one is kind of like a true mix of mystery and romance, I'm hoping. Otherwise, it doesn't fit into this vlog, but it's my channel. If it doesn't quite fit into the vlog, that's okay. I can make an exception because it is my channel. I need to keep telling myself that because I make these arbitrary rules for myself. And then I'm like, well, my subscribers are going to call me out on it. It's like, no one's going to call you out on that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to be reading this. This is about our main character who is the child of immigrants. And she's got these meddling aunties and her meddling mom, and she accidentally may have killed someone on a date, and I guess her aunts are going to help her investigate and try and exonerate her. I'm not sure. And then somehow there's also a romance. I really don't know much else, and I kind of want to go into it not knowing much else. I just love going along for the ride with Jessie Sutanto. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. You want to hear a funny joke? I didn't even need to go to class today. I got an email from my professor telling us that attendance is not mandatory and that I can work from wherever I feel most comfortable, which would be my desktop with a big giant screen, and I didn't have to drive all the way over here for the one class I have today. This is absolutely first world problems, but also I'm broke and I could have saved the gas. So it is what it is, I guess. I'm gonna go home, eat something for like an early lunch, and then like lock in and work on some of my school stuff. I was right. The love interest is not going to be the dead guy, unless there's some weird twist. I have some inklings about what is possibly going on, and if that's true, I won't be sad that it's slightly predictable, but it would be slightly predictable. However, I really do trust Jessie Tanto because she has done amazing with Vera Wong, and I really like how, I think she probably actually wrote this first. I probably should have looked that up, but I'm pretty sure this is like her debut series, and then she went to Vera Wong. I'm not 100%. I've always loved her writing. Both the Vera Wong books that I've read, I've loved, and I'm really liking this too. I am only 30% of the way through. I'm not even halfway through, but it's cute. It's kind of reminding me of like Finley Donovan, but if Finley Donovan had like a through line of second chance romance in it. Not much has happened yet as far as that goes. It's more just like dealing with what's going on that they talked about in the synopsis with her date dropping dead. It's an interesting way that they make it happen, but I'm curious to see what happens next. And I just love all of her aunts and her mom. And it's interesting that the way that the author like has things play out. And I also really like that she doesn't shy away from talking about like family trauma or expectations or the values that your family holds and what that means for you. And I really like the way she handles that. She does it really well in the Vera Wong books, and so far she's doing it really well in this one. It is 100% different from Mate, and I'm kind of loving that I'm reading something very different from the other two in the middle, because the next one's going to be fantasy. It's not going to have anything to do with werewolves as far as I know, but Thrown in the Dark is also fantasy. So I'm happy doing like just like a mystery romance sandwich with the bread being the fantasy romances on the outside. I'm babbling, but I'm gonna probably read some more, but I do have to I gotta buckle down and get some work done for school. There's some due dates that I didn't realize were as soon as they are. I'm about halfway through that and I need to just finish it. So I'm gonna do that and just try and make it through the rest of the semester. Okay guys, just a quick update to let you know I am running late for class. I am halfway through Dial A for Aunties, loving it. I'll go more into depth later, but I wanted to just check in before this long day starts because I'm going to be here pretty much all day. So it is a story of my life. But I got to run to class. So far, so good. Really enjoying it. Don't have much else to say yet, but I will later. So I'll catch up with you very, very soon. All right, so it's a little after 5 o'clock and I just got done with all my school stuff. I did do a little bit of reading today, but most of my day was spent working on final projects, whether my projects just on my own or my group projects. Actually just got back from the library and I was working with one of my groups and I think we are pretty much good to go. I just need to edit our like presentation video and do like a screen recording of our presentation, and I think that one will be done. I am so glad at least one of them is going to be done. I want to get everything done early just so I can just be done and only have like a couple presentations to do. We'll see if that happens, but I did do, like I said, a little bit more reading, maybe 5% of my book. So Dial A for Aunties is still really fun. It's definitely like a romp, and I could really see someone turning this into a rom-com. It's definitely a slow burn on the part of the second chance romance, but I just want to keep reading because it's so suspenseful and you don't know how Medi is going to get out of like each situation that she's in, and you worry like her aunts are going to screw stuff up or maybe they'll really help her. Her mom is trying to help her. She's trying to deal with this wedding that she has to work. And it's really entertaining and really fun. Definitely a lot different than the other books I've been reading lately. I've been doing a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. So it's kind of a nice switch up. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I think I'll probably finish it tomorrow. I'm doing so well right now as far as my projects go that I should be able to give myself time to read tomorrow, even if it's just reading like between doing schoolwork. I'm going to try and do that, give myself some self-care. I am going to drive home. I'm going to get into comfy clothes, and I'm probably going to do some more reading or just play a mindless game on my computer. Hello, it is now Friday. We missed a whole day together. I spent the entire day yesterday doing schoolwork. I actually had more work than I thought I had for one assignment. That's neither here nor there. I did finish Dial for Auntie somehow. I finished it, started reading the second half of the book at like 10:30 at night. And just to decompress, and it's such a quick and fast-paced read that I finished it. I ended up really liking it. The beginning half was a little bit stronger than the second half. I did really enjoy the whole thing though. I do think that some of the things that people may not like about it are that there are several plot conveniences and the involved romance doesn't feel super fleshed out. I wish that we would have learned a little bit more about Nathan and Meddy's relationship when they were in college, because I wasn't as invested in them as I could have been. And it was primarily like a cozy, silly mystery more than anything else. Not even a mystery. It's kind of like I said this earlier, it's like Finley Donovan, where she gets into this mess that has to do with like possible murders and illegal things and all of these things, and has to figure out how to get out of it. And she has all four of her aunts and her mom trying to be all the cooks in the kitchen and figure out what to do to help her, while also working on this big, huge wedding that they booked because they like have a wedding company. So it was really fun. It took my mind off of stuff. If you want something just like silly and easy and fun, I would read it. Do not take it seriously, because there are a lot of things that will make you have to suspend your disbelief and be like, that's just not how that would work. But it's supposed to be fun, and I think it did what it set out to do. I would read the second one in the series, which is Four Aunties and a Wedding, and I think it's about the same characters, but that means that I can go ahead and go to Throne in the Dark. This is a big boy, just shy, 2 pages shy, I think, of 500 pages. So I am at 101 books for the year. This will be my 102nd, and my goal is 104. So we'll probably hit that in the next vlog, but I am really excited to read this, and I've heard that it's another one that doesn't take itself too seriously. The son of a demon and a troublesome thief named Amma are supposedly going to fall in love. I think he's trying to complete this like nefarious plan. He's this son of a demon. I don't know what the plan is, but she's going to completely upend his life and be annoying, and I think they're going to fall in love. So we'll see how it goes. I have heard it's good because it's self-aware, otherwise it would be incredibly cheesy, and it kind of matches my shirt. Okay, so it's nearly the pets' dinner time. So I'm being accosted by them and having 3 animals staring at me. But I wanted to give you an update because I'm about 6 chapters into Throne in the Dark. I have some thoughts about my first impressions on it. So far, so good. I've noticed a couple things that I like, a couple things that are kind of give me a little bit of pause. What I do really like about this is the dynamic between the 2 main characters. They meet each other pretty quickly at the start of the book. There's not a bunch of like superfluous things happening before they meet. And it's interesting, like the way that they set the story up. Our main character, Damien, our one main character, Damien, he is the son of a demon, and his demon father is trapped, and he wants to fulfill his promise that he made as a child to extricate his dad from the prison that he's been put in by the king. And Amma has her own reasons for doing what she does, but she ends up in the same area as Damien for some reason, and some things occur that cause them to have to go on a journey together, which I do love a journey story. I think that's very fun. this book so far is really self-aware. There's a lot of characters that you can tell it's done tongue-in-cheek, that they're just not speaking like they would in the modeled world that this book is set in. So it feels like it's set in some like sort of fantasy kingdom. Think Lord of the Rings, think Game of Thrones, like that type of like the era of knights and mages. Our main character, Damien's a blood mage and a half demon, and Amma is a thief. The things that I don't like about this book is I noticed a couple of issues so far with not just like the grammar's okay, but the actual punctuation and a couple of other things with like the line editing are just not up to par. Like there's a couple spots where I don't know if a line editor missed it, where there's like not a space in between the last sentence and the new sentence, or there's just some weird like issues with how things are set up. I do think that it could come off as cheesy if this wasn't so self-aware. And the other good thing I want to mention so far, let me find it. I didn't know that there's some fun art in here. So it's really, really gorgeous. I love this edition of this book. It's one of the prettiest books I own. I think that it's a good mix between, you know, how you see like the cartoony covers of books and like more typical like realistic art. I think this is a good mix of the two, and you don't normally judge a book by its cover, but I do think sometimes it helps if the cover is pretty, especially when you want to suggest it to other people. Yeah, I think it's going to be one that I like, but I am also only 15% of the way through this book according to Storygraph, so things could very, very much change. I hope they don't. I hope it continues to be a fun book. I do think there was a little bit of info dumping that didn't need to happen all at once. Like there's certain things about the world that we live in and like the different planes of existence that I don't feel like I needed to know right away. You could have like given it to us as context clues. So there's that. I hope it doesn't continue to be like a thing that happens in this book, but I can forgive it because the rest of it so far is really interesting. Remember when I said I don't think there's any werewolves in Thrown in the Dark? They just mentioned werewolves. I don't think they're going to be a love interest of any kind, but there's werewolves in this infernal woods, so that's just kind of funny. I am over halfway through Thrown in the Dark, and I figured I needed to update you, otherwise I was going to end up finishing this entire book without telling you about it, because I'm enjoying it that much. I listened to some of it on audio, and I've also read quite a bit physically. I'm liking both. The audiobook is really good. It's got two narrators, a man and a woman, and their voices for the gender that they're not portraying are not annoying. So that is definitely a plus. Sometimes I won't listen to an audiobook just because of like the way that a man will speak like a woman. It's just like it's not like misogynistic or anything. It's just annoying, and it's like that's not, no. But I don't have a problem with this one. I love these characters. I have fallen in love with them as people. I was worried a little bit at the beginning that it was just going to be like a fanfic of some already existing content. I don't think it is. I don't think it's like a Hermione fanfic or anything like that. It's just a very tongue-in-cheek, self-aware book that I really love, because I think some of the issues that I have with some fantasy books is like it is so unserious, but the characters take themselves so seriously, and I like that they don't do that in this. Like there's a lot of subverting stereotypes as far as like fantasy creatures and fantasy people go, which I really enjoy. I don't want to go into specifics because I think it's fun to have some of that be a surprise, but if you like that type of thing, I think you'd enjoy this. It's self-aware and not in a cheesy way. I feel like it can be done really badly or really well, writing in a self-aware way, and I think this one does it really well. The storyline is also great. I love their banter. They are on a journey, and I love a journey story. I don't know if it's just because like I grew up loving Lord of the Rings and all of these fantasy books that I read in middle school and high school that just always somehow centered on a quest of some sort, which I think is the best way to get to know a character, especially in a fantasy book. So this is great because you can tell that there is some romance going on or some like softening of feelings for each other, but not done in a way that's just like, oh, we're writing the story to get to them boning. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really happy with it. And I would probably, so far, fingers crossed that it sticks to landing. So far, I would think I would definitely read more from this author, but I'll let you know for sure by the end of the video. This is the last book I'm reading for this video, but I am really sad for it to be over, which I think I'm going to finish it today, which is great, but also very unfortunate. She does have a lot of other books in like the villains and virtues. I think it's a she. I don't know. It's A.K. Caggiano. I think the author bio says she's a woman. I'm really enjoying it. So it's just what I needed at this time, like going through a lot of like grief and other things and also dealing with final projects. I needed that just humor and fun. Like I feel like I used to, where I could just dive into a book and forget myself for hours. And I love that. I think that's great. I've had a few of those this year, and every time I find one, it makes me so happy. But I'm gonna finish up some schoolwork and probably finish up Throne in the Dark. I might update you before I finish, but if not, I will give you a very good final review of what I think of this book. So, see you soon. Good morning. I know it looks like it is 7 o'clock at night, but it's actually 7 a.m. So I did finish Throne in the Dark, and I'm giving this 5 stars. I know I've talked about not wanting to do like star ratings as much, but it's so good. It's so good. There are like a couple discrepancies because this was independently published before. I think there's some grammar issues and things in here that I don't think got looked at before it got traditionally published, but I am absolutely reading the next one. I looked it up and the next one is out, but it's getting traditionally published in March and it's got a really pretty cover. Put it up on the screen. I'm debating whether I should wait to read it until that comes out or if I should just listen to the audiobook of the next one because it's available at my library. But I don't know what to do. So let me know what you guys think. So if you want an actual true slow burn romance, this is that, because really not much happens for a long time. And that's the way that I like it. It's the slow burn in the way that Mariana's A Pot of Wishes she could do. I have a problem with her. I don't like her writing. I hated, like, All Roads Lead Here was so mid. That's beside the point. But Thrown in the Dark, I don't think it was overly long. I think that the length that it is, everything was useful in there. Everything made sense to the story. I really liked that. I love Damien and Amma, and I knew the plot twist, like, I guess you could call it a plot twist, pretty early on, but they didn't take away from anything. I don't think that that's always a problem. Like, you have to not see something coming, because if it's done well, seeing an aspect coming of a book is not a problem. Because it's like, oh yeah, this is a fun story. Let's see exactly how this author is going to do this trope or this this plot point. I don't think that's a problem, especially because A.K. Caggiano is so good at just making you love her characters and just feeling really immersed in the world. and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure going into this because I know it's like, I'm not on TikTok anymore. I got rid of it a while ago, even before the whole like possible TikTok shutdown, whatever. I think this is big on TikTok, or it was. I don't know. Let me know if this is a book talk book. I think it's worth the hype, honestly. I found a new favorite and I can't wait to go on in the rest of the series, and I'm so glad it's already written. Like I said, I am debating whether or not I should wait for the next traditionally published one. So just to recap, I read that last, and then the first two that I read were Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which I gave like a 4-ish. It was good. It was fun. I can't tell if I liked it better than Bride. I think I like Bride a little bit better. It took me a while to get into the characters, and I didn't like how misogynistic Cohen was at the beginning, but I would still recommend it. And then Dial A for Aunties, also recommend. I would say that one, make sure you're okay with suspending your disbelief. It's much less believable than Vera Wong, which is also written by the same author. But I think if you like Vera Wong and you haven't read the Dial A for Aunties series, you should. It's fun, but don't take it too seriously. Some of it doesn't make sense, or it's like, yeah, that's not how that would happen. But overall, I had a really good reading week. I'm really happy with how things played out because I just wanted some silly, goofy romances, and I got some silly, goofy romances. So I got what I wanted. I have to spend the rest of the weekend doing my final projects for school. So I'm going to let you guys go. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Let me know if you want to see any specific books read. I'll do what I can. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.